of the stocks we're looking at this week is Genetic Signatures. It recently had its half-yearly results out and announced its first substantial profit. Now, the company has released a suite of real-time screening products for the routine detection of infectious diseases under the EasyScreening brand, or the EasyScreen brand. Now, these diseases include sexual health, gastro, respiratory, meningitis, and of course, COVID. Now, COVID is what has attracted the market's attention and has led to a strong share price from Genetic Signatures. Now, today we are joined by the CEO of Genetic Signatures, John Melky. John, Genetics pivoted quickly when COVID came to market, and you launched a COVID test kit for the early detection of COVID-19. This provided your company with a platform to grow sales of all your other products, the products I mentioned, into the laboratories in Australia and, of course, around the world. Is the market missing the fact that the COVID test has opened up a whole new sales pipeline for Genetic Signatures?
I think it's got to be taken in context, Tim. Genetic Signatures has generally focused on three things. The first is rapidly increasing our global customer base. The second is increasing the number of organisms that we can test for or assay for. And the third is that will generally lead to shareholder increase in shareholder value. So we as a company are already focused on the post-pandemic opportunities. The current pandemic, as you stated, has been helpful in lifting our respiratory sales, but it was also leveraged to increase our overall customer base, and that was particularly in Europe and the US. So we are currently already leveraging the larger customer base that we have, and to introduce to them more infectious disease targets. You mentioned some, but that includes influenza, but we could also do the other syndromic panels, such as the causes of gastroenteritis. And importantly for the shareholders and for the market, these kits have already been developed. They're already in kit form. They already have regulatory approvals in both Europe and Australia. That we're very clearly targeting that conversion of the newer customers that we have, as well as existing customers as we have, to the additional targets that we have available for sale.
John, now in your recent presentation, you kind of talked about increasing international recognition through your SARS-CoV launch and creating new avenues to expand your customer base. Can you provide a little bit more colour on that?
Our strategy, even prior to COVID, was to expand into the US and European markets. You know, together they're more than 75% of the world market. Some say higher, but it's around 75%. And by contrast, Australia, we know, is 1 to 2% of the global market. You're right, SARS-CoV-2 launch or COVID-19 launch gave us access to new customers who may not have even signatures if it was just normal times. But the new customers are generally using equipment that Genetic Signatures has designed and supplied. So these new customers have access to our key benefit of our proprietary 3-base technology. And one of those is that we use the same method as we do for SARS-CoV-2 as with any other pathogen. So we've made it incredibly easy for our customers, our new and current customers, to introduce new targets and new test kits. So as an example, in the US, we have identified that enteric protozoans, and these are parasites, so Giardia or Cryptosporidium that most people have heard of, and we are considering that one of our best opportunities, which is due to a lack of the test kits in the US that can assay for a large number of parasites. And for this reason, that's our #1 product that we're targeting for FDA clearance. So any existing SARS-CoV-2 customer will be able to easily add in an FDA cleared product when we achieve that. And this also applies to broader respiratory testing. So in conjunction with COVID-19. Equally, STI testing is an opportunity. And only last month, we announced to the market that we received CIVD marking on our STI kit. And that market alone is estimated at almost 2 billion Australian dollars.
John, I think the market has this misconception, if you like, that, you know, the Genetic Signatures is a one-trick pony. You pivoted quickly and delivered a COVID SARS test kit. You've got a lot more products behind the company. Can you kind of talk to those products and where the potential new markets are?
That's a really great question. So we were able to move quickly with SARS-CoV-2 and move very quickly on those regulatory approvals as well. But we had a broad number of kits before that, and we have even more coming. I'm most excited by a couple of our new kits. One of them detects flaviviruses and alpha viruses, and these are mosquito-borne diseases. This is like Zika or dengue or West Nile, and even Australia has it. And we've leveraged our 3-base technology. So this one kit can detect all of those flaviviruses, and it doesn't matter if they're in Africa or Europe or America. So traditionally, you would look for dengue only in certain parts of the world or Zika in certain parts of the world. Our 3-base technology has allowed us to assay for all of them in one, and the lab can then go on and identify which type is actually present. So this test, it's already in use in a lab in Kenya. We're getting very positive feedback on that. I'm very excited also by our test for bacterial antibiotic resistance. So we've all heard of superbugs. They dominated the health news. They certainly did before COVID. They will come back as being closely examined, because experts have estimated that the number of deaths due to antibiotic resistance is going to overtake total cancer deaths by the year 2050. So it's very important to be able to identify the bacteria and which antibiotics they are resistant to. So they're just two of the kits that we have available. They have the potential to grow into very lucrative markets for genetic signatures. We have other exciting kits which are in development. We've not announced to the market for competitive reasons. But all these things combined, I think these examples further validate our strategy of adding more customers, adding more testing targets in order to ultimately add to shareholder value.